Good morning, crafty friends. Happy Saturday. Excuse me. I'm Beth Roy, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And welcome to my craft space. So hopefully I'm going live this time. And my internet's working. Excuse me. I still have a little cough from my cold that I've had for like 2 weeks. So if I cough, I apologize. Just making sure everything's off here and ready to go so I can see comments. So if you pop in, say good morning. If you are new to watching my page, let us know where you're coming from so we can get to know you. We'd love to have you as part of our Saturday morning crafty tribe. So let's see. I did go live just a second ago, so hopefully my notification goes out again. My internet is a little tricky this morning. We had lots of storms here in Ohio, and so hopefully everything holds out for me. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Jenny. Today, I want to talk about, I'm just going to try to straighten my camera a little bit. We'll see how well I do here. No, Beth, that's not straight, is it? Don't mind me. No, I'm making it worse, aren't I? Hey, Beth, just stop what you're doing. Okay. All right, that's going to have to be good enough. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to talk about Z-fold cards. So this month I want to focus on doing some fun folds every weekend. So if there's a fun fold that you would like to learn, please let me know. And I'll be happy to research it if I've never done it, or show you how I do it. So thank you, Linda. I am feeling better. My voice may sound a little rough today because, well, it's been a very long week and my voice doesn't get a lot of rest. So I have to talk at my job too. So it may sound a little rough, and hopefully I don't cough the whole time. But I would like to know, if you're in here and you're watching, have you done a Z-fold? So right now on my desk, I have 2 simple Z-fold cards, and it's just a basic card. It's really simple to do. You can use all kinds of things for your Z-fold card. You don't have to have a cut and emboss machine. You don't have to have anything special to do this card. And then I'm also going to show you an option to step this up a little bit and make a double Z-fold card. So those are really cool. I love doing those. You can get really detailed, and they can be a lot of fun. So I've done 2 simple ones, but today you guys can choose if you want me to show you the double Z-fold. Good morning, Dad. Thanks for joining us. So Linda, you've never tried one. Well, I'm going to show you. It's really simple. It really is. It might sound scary because it's a fun fold and it can look hard, but it really isn't. I'm going to show you how to do it, and I can't wait to see you guys try this. So I have all these little foxes that I colored, and I need to use them up. So I did a real quick card, and this is just cut with my trimmer. There's nothing special to do this. You just use your favorite stamps. If they need colored, your favorite coloring tools. And I just used a colored piece of cardstock, and it just flips out. So the reason why it says it's a Z card is the shape. So when you look at the shape, it looks like a Z, right? Am I holding it the right way? this way maybe. Either way, that's why it's called a Z-fold. Yes, Jenny loves doing Z-folds, I know. This is probably one of the first fun folds I really learned to do. So I thought I would share it. This is really simple. This is a portrait. So this direction's a portrait. And you just add in a space for your greeting. And I can show you some tips on how to get that lined up. So here's my little thinking of you fox. Isn't she cute? And I can write my message in there. And it still stands up, so your recipient can still stand it up for display. If you don't want your message shown, you could put something cute in here and write your message on the back. So there's a portrait one. Now this one is what I would call landscape. So it's a longer card. And this is just a simple stamped on basic white. There's no layers, and I use the watercolor pencils to add colors to my little animals. So you have hello there. This will fit in a regular medium-sized envelope. Excuse me, just like your standard card. And then it folds out. So isn't that cute? You can make a big, long, continuing card. So I've done two really simple cards. I'm going to show you how to cut and score for both cards. And you guys are going to help me through the creative process today, and we're going to make one. So my question right now, before we get started, is would you like to see the simple Z-fold, or would you like me to show you how you step it up and make it a double Z-fold? All that means, all the double is going to be, and I'm just using this for reference, okay? You can choose, you can customize the size. A double Z-fold has an extra band down here that folds. So you have an extra layer on the front. It isn't difficult, I promise. And I can show you how to cut for these. And then if you want to step it up, we can. You can use a 1-inch strip. You can use a 2-inch strip. You can do however you want. You can cut a fun edge. There's so many things you can do. It's so fun. And I am going to be working up some more of these throughout the week and sharing some ideas. I know I haven't had a lot on my page, and I apologize. Just between being sick and working all week, I haven't had a lot of free time. So I'm hoping to have a little more free time this week and do some more cards. I have finished a couple more cards. I just haven't posted them. So what do you think? Do you want to see how you step it up, or do you want to do something simple? So while you're thinking on that, I'm going to move these to the side, and I'm just going to use a basic white piece, and I'm going to show you how to cut and score for the Z-fold. So I'm going to bring in, my Stampin' Up! Trimmer here, and I'm going to grab a couple pieces of basic white. So we can use whatever color you want, but I'm just going to do this for the demo. Trust me, I'll use these, so it's okay. So if you want the portrait, so portrait means this is 4 1/4 and this is 5 1/2. If you want this size and you have your flap is skinnier, you have a little less space on the inside, but that's okay because it might work better for your design. You're going to take your cardstock, whatever color you want. I'm just doing white for the demo. You're going to cut it at 5 1/2 like you normally would. Let me toss my extra piece here. Now you're going to turn it, and you're going to score it at 4 1/4. So here's the beauty of having the Stampin' Up! Trimmer is here's my scoring blade right here with it. Good morning, Jan. We're doing Z-fold cards this morning. So I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. Now that's our standard card. right? That's our standard card. That's what you would normally do. Now, to get my extra flap, I'm going to score it halfway, which would be 2 1/8. I'm going to score it again. And I'm just scoring it really well. So you have a score line at 2 1/8, a score line at 4 1/4. So when you fold it, it's just like your normal card, but we're adding an extra fold. Now you don't have to score it. You could just fold it. I just like to score it for the ease of getting my creases really nice. So I'm going to use my bone folder. It's going to really burnish that crease. So here's our card. Now here's our front. We're going to take this flap and we're going to fold it back. Make sure I scored it straight. Oh. What did I do here? So there's our Z-fold. Really easy. You're basically making a standard card and you're just doing an extra step by folding that front flap back on itself. Then you can add whatever shape you want here. I just chose to do a rectangle that I cut with my trimmer. You can do a die cut, you can do a circle, you can do whatever you want. That's the fun. And then when you adhere this, you're only adhering part of it so that it moves. So that is the portrait. Now let me show you the cuts for if you want it to be landscape. So here's what I mean by landscape. That means this is 5 1/2 and this is 4 1/4. And then it folds out this way. So be thinking, I saw Linda ask for the double Z. Does anyone else want to do? Your choice right now, if you just popped in, is do you want to do the standard one, a really simple card, or would you like me to show you the double Z and how you make a front panel so it's 2 layers? And you can put designer series paper on this. You can do lots of layers. You can do this up however you want. You don't have to stamp on it. You can use your designer series paper. I actually thought about grabbing out the these cute little rain or shine characters. You can cut characters from your designer series paper and you can use the patterns. I do know, Jenny. I knew what your vote was. I knew it. Rose says double. Okay, so for this one, we're going to cut it at 4 1/4. So you're going to take your 8 1/2 by 11 sheet. You're on the 8 1/2 side, you're going to just cut it in half like you would for a standard card if you want the top fold or like the what I would call the skinny landscape fold. Okay, so we're going to do it just like a standard card. You're going to go to 4 1/4 and cut. Now you're going to turn it and you're going to score it at 5 1/2. So move that cutting blade. Again, you don't have to score it. This is my preference because it helps me get my creases nice and neat. So 5 1/2. That's our standard card, right? And you can make it a top fold or like a skinny landscape. So that's our standard card right there. Now you're going to go half the distance here. So 2 3/4. And you're going to score it again. Now you just have to fold it. I'm going to show you real quick how we do that little strip. So I'm just folding my card. Don't mind me. I can't line anything up today. That's all right. We're just going to keep going. Just going to keep going. Oh my. Oh, good. That was ribbon. I thought I picked up ink somewhere. I have stuff all over my desk. now, so our card opens this way, we're going to fold this flap back on itself. So if you don't score things, that's fine. Just fold it in half and then fold the flap back on itself. Jan, have you, okay. Sorry, my internet paused. Are you guys still with me? Okay, everyone's still with me? Okay, I'm just trying to make sure that it said it paused and then it came back. So I wanted to make sure. So if it pauses, just know I might have internet problems because of the storms we had last night. There was lots of things going on, tornadoes and all kinds of crazy winds. So when you do the landscape, it folds out and you have a little bit bigger space back here. So there's lots of ways you can do this. I did mine very simple and I just left it stamped. So hello there, and when you pull it out, life is better with you. This is a great card to send to a friend. And I love these cute little animals. Now, I colored mine with watercolor pencils. I don't know that I love every bit of it, but kind of did it in a hurry, but I still like it. If you color with blends, you may want to put a layer on here, then score it, then stamp it so that when you color with your blends, it doesn't bleed through on the back of your card. You may not care. If you don't care, don't worry about it. But so that's this way. Now, if you want a front part to make it a double Z, let me see what I have here. If I have any skinny layers, you can use different colors. I'm going to use a white piece. I have a lot of these left over. Let's see. That one's not long enough. I have a lot of these pieces left over from when I did mini slimline cards. So use up your scraps, see what you got, and use them up. So I used all my... Okay, so I have this one. It might not be as skinny as I would like. Nope, not long enough. All right, so I know this is going to be long enough because it's 11 inches. So obviously if I'm doing this one, some of these other little pieces could work. So it has to be the length of your card when it's open. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. So it has to be the length of your card when it's open. So you're going to need a 5.5 piece or an 11-inch piece. Let me do this one. And it's okay that it's wide. We can always trim it down. Okay, you can trim it in half. Doesn't matter what size you use. It depends on how you've designed your card. I want you to get creative, right? So let me make this, let's see, I think these are 2 inches. Let me just make it 1.5 inches. I'm just going to trim it down so it's 1.5 inches wide. I'll use that for something else. Okay. So this is 11 inches. It goes the full length of my card. I'm going to score this just like I did my card. So move, oops, my blade is coming off. Move your cutting blade. Score at 5.5. Score at 2 3/4. Okay, so you have all those score lines. You're going to fold this, and this folds back on itself like that, just like you did your card. Now, when we adhere this, we're not going to make this Z go the same direction. You're going to flip this. So this would get adhered on the front like this. This gets adhered back here. So that when you fold it, it folds like this. Can you see that? I know I'm doing white on white. Can you guys see what I'm doing? It folds down like this to fit in your envelope. So you can make this as detailed and as layered as you want, but just remember when you go to mail it here in the US, it may cost you a little extra postage if you do lots of layers because it's already folded and has a little bit extra. So when you adhere it, it's like this. And you can put all kinds of little things. I know Jenny and I have done these a ton. I haven't done one for a while, but you can put all kinds of characters and things that pop up or pop out and make this a really fun full card. So that's the double Z. Again, if you're making it for the portrait, you need a 5.5-inch piece. It can be any width that you like. So if you want 1 inch because you just want your greeting to pop up with your card, or a character, it needs to be 5.5 inches by any width. And then you're going to score it at 4 1/4 and 2 1/8. So my next question, we're doing the double Z. Let me go ahead and, we don't have to do white. I did white for the demo, but we can do whatever color card you want. Do you want to do portrait or landscape? So again, the portrait's this way. And when you do the portrait, I love using colored cardstock because I know that I'm putting on my greeting and other things in different colors. So this is a great time to use up maybe your colored cardstock. And you can do layers. You can do a layer here, and a layer back here. It's the possibilities with this type of card are endless. So I want you to think as big as you want and have fun with it. And I'm just going to show you all the mechanics of it, and then you can get as detailed as you want. And we can use the white that I've already cut. We can put some designer series paper on it to give it some color. And I did have an idea. I'm going to show you guys what I thought about doing. And we'll see if you want to do that or if you want to go do something different like this. So I see 2 votes for landscape, 1 vote for portrait. And later on, I will put all those measurements up, and then, you know, you can, like I said, you can adjust things how you think you would like it. I see a lot of landscapes. Okay, so let's go with that one because this might take me a few minutes. And what I'm going to do is, here's a little trick. I like to put a block on top of my cards. So I'm going to throw these over here with a block on top of them. And we're going to work with this. So I've already cut these out of white. So we can use the basic white, or we can cut a different color. I'm open to the creative process and what you guys would like to play with this morning. But I was kind of thinking, let me show you what some of my thoughts were when I was thinking about what I wanted to do for this card. So I'm going to grab out this Rain or Shine. I think this, ironically, this was not first on my list for this suite, for the sweets. But after I've been playing with this, I just really love these little characters. So these characters can be cut out with your dies or easily fussy cut. So if you didn't get this set at all, but you got some of the paper, you can still fussy cut your characters. And I love it because it has this shiny thing, kind of like it's like a raincoat material. I mean, it's like that. It's not colored. I forget what they call it. UV coating. So this is a specialty paper. It has lots of this. So you have this shine on these pieces, and then you have these little characters. Aren't these cute? So you could cut these with your scissors. These you would have to fussy cut, but you also have fun patterns on the other side that you could use. These are really bright. And then you have, now this one's like a darker rainy night, and then you have some cute umbrellas. But I thought about using this piece. Now this piece has a flower bottom and then some clouds toward the top. It has a really nice pattern on the back. But I thought about cutting this to fit my panels and then using my leftover strip with this. So adhering this on, so I have some flowers down here, and then you have flowers in the sky in the background. So I agree, Rose. That was my thinking, was to do this and then maybe cut out some of these little characters to put on my card. So we could either do some of these characters, which we do have a stamp that has this little turtle, but they look like this. So these mimic the stamps exactly, and these are a little bit different. So we can use any of those. So even if you don't have these stamps, but you've maybe invested in the paper because you thought the paper was cute, you can design a card with these and have little characters popping up or in the background. Of course, I have tons that are colored, but they don't really go with, I colored them my own color schemes. And so I really like that the paper has this shiny. So we can use any of these. And I like that these are all colored a little bit different. Some of them have design, so we can have some fun with it. Excuse me. Again, sorry if I cough, but it's still there a little bit. So if I'm designing this to have layers, I do a couple of different things. Sometimes I do individual pieces for each section. The other thing you could do is you could take a strip and adhere it on here and then score it so that it's just one long strip. Sometimes I don't like doing all the math, which would mean I have to say, okay, this is 5.5 by whatever, and I have to think of the border. So if you don't like to think of the border and how you want to do it, you could just glue a continuous strip and then score it so that it folds nice and neat. Excuse me. Sorry. Good morning, Vicki. So I want to think about how I want this to fit. And so I'm going to cut this direction because I need to have my width correct. And I really want this to be about like this. So I'm going to sacrifice some of this paper and cut it how I want. And I think I'm going to put the daisies so they're just barely showing on this piece. And then we're going to have these daisies on this piece. So I'm going to cut this at 4, I think, and just see where it falls. So this paper is 12 by 12, so I know I can get 3 equal cuts if I do 4. So I'm just, right now, I'm just laying it down on here to see where it's cutting. So that would be there. So I'm going to do a little mark. Oh, that's not going to work. What fits in here? Wonder where I put my take your pick tool. Oh my gosh, there it is. I'm just going to use this little spatula end and make a little mark so I can see. Oh, no worries, Vicki. I'm sorry you don't have power. We lost power for a moment last night, but luckily ours are back on. Lots of people where we live do not have power. So my internet is a little sketchy today, and I'm just glad I can be here because I really wasn't sure I could. So what I'm doing is I'm taking that little mark that I could easily push back out of my paper and lining it up with 4. And I'm just trying to see, where is this going to hit? Is it too many flowers? Is it too high? Or just enough? What do you think? What do you think? So I'm laying my card down. This is how it would be on my card. So this is kind of my process when I'm planning with a patterned paper that I want it to fall a specific way. I do kind of like that, and that gives me the option to go ahead and cut my paper into the 4-inch mark and just cut it into 3 strips and move on. Good morning, Joan. Thanks for joining us. So I'm going to go back now that I've kind of eyeballed that to see how it's going to go. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut this. This can be for another card. Could even be for another Z-fold. And I'm going to cut this at 4. Now, I'm cutting it at 4. Oops. Sorry, Rose. I already cut it. And I could just do this all sky. If you just wanted this all sky, you could do that and then put your flowers on your other little piece. I am cutting this at 4, which means this is 4 1/4. It means we're going to have a little bit of a white edge, and that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. We can change things up a little bit. So it has a little more flowers probably than I intended, but it's going to go like this. And I will have to cut it down a little bit. So that's what it's going to look like. Now you could cut this and put it on your paper. If you do not want to cut panels, you could put it on your paper and then score it. Okay, so remember, this is 12 inches. So I'm going to cut this piece off over here so that I can have some shorter flowers on this end. So you can cut panels, which means this is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. You can cut a panel to go on there like that. Or you can cover the whole thing and score. Okay, I already have mine scored, but that's all right. So what do you think? We're going to use this piece for this. We're going to cut a little strip off to go onto here. So do you think I should cut panels, which requires math? If you do not like math, you don't want to do panels. Thank you, Jenny. Thanks, Rose. Thanks, Vicky. Or do you want to see the full sheet? It's either way is the correct way. There's no wrong. You know that. This is a creative process. So you can do things exactly how you want. So I'm actually going to cut this piece at 10 3/4 because we know this is 11. I agree, Joan. I'm going to just stick it on there. I like to do the easy way. Like I said, when you have to do those panels and you're doing all that math, that's what seems complicated. Don't make it complicated. Go easy on yourself. Make it easy. And then as you get used to making them, then you can create cheat sheets. If you want to do layers and panels, you can create cheat sheets. So this full sheet is 12 inches. My paper is 11, and I want it to be 1/4 of an inch less. So I'm going to cut this piece at 10 3/4. So pull out your little arm on your trimmer, and you're going to go out here to 10 3/4. And remember, I said I want to cut this end off because it has some taller flowers, and that's going to help me keep these smaller ones. So 10 3/4. You can save this for something, I'm sure. And this is going to fit like this. And I'm going to adhere it right on like that. And then I'm probably just going to rescore it or refold it so that it fits. So there's that piece. Now we have this piece. And remember, I cut this at 1.5 inches. So I'm going to cut my strip at 1 1/4. And I'm going to do that before I trim the length. That way I can keep my strips 12 inches for other projects. So I'm going to cut this. I want to see how it falls. There's 1 1/4. So it's going to have a bunch of yellow flowers, which coordinates with the bottom. Or, so can you guys see what I'm doing? So I can cut this strip and use it, or I can do this piece. And it does have some flowers a little trimmed off. That's okay. So this would trim this way and have more white with some of that, I think it's Mango Melody. It looks like the Black-Eyed Susan flowers or daisies. I love these flowers. I love this paper. I agree, Vicki. But you can do it. It isn't bad. Now we could just cut this in strips and get this piece too. I mean, it depends on how you want to use it. But I need the full length. So even if we cut here in the middle, I could cut a 1-inch strip off and then get more white. I could cut this strip off and then it would be more white. What do you think? The more white? Let's just do that. I'm going to do this right here. Be brave. Just cut your paper. So see, I have this little strip for something else. I'm going to toss it off to the side. And then I'm going to come, this is 1 1/4. And I'm using these measurements on the other side. I think that has more white. So there's 1 1/4. And then I have this strip for something else too. So here's my strip. And it's okay that some of them are cut off. That's all right. So this is going to go on like this. Again, I've got to trim some off here. So we're going to trim it at 10 3/4, just like we did our other one. Again, you can keep that little square if you want, or you can toss it. Don't be afraid to just throw it away. Don't overthink it. And this is going to be adhered like this. If you don't want white showing, then you'll have to adjust everything to be cut to the exact size of these. So it'll have to be 4 1/4 by 11 and 4 1/4 by 11, or not 4 1/4, I'm sorry, 1 1/2 by 11 and 4 1/4 by 11. So there's our pieces. Really cute. Okay. So let's get to adhering this together and we'll see. So I'm just going to try to lay this flat because I did, so we're going to adhere it just like this. Grab some liquid glue. So curious. Like I said, this suite was nowhere near the top of my list, and I decided to get it because of the paper pumpkin that came out last month. And I just love these little characters. Come on, glue. So with your designer series paper, be careful. You don't need as much glue. Okay, it's thinner than your cardstock. Hard part's going to be because I already did all the folds. So I'm just trying to take my time and see if I can get it straight. We'll see. Looks good. It's okay if it's not perfect. No one's gonna know. So I'm just adhering that down. I'm using my bone folder. My sister actually came up with this trick to make sure that your paper's down with no bubbles. Isn't that neat? I know, Jenny. Me too. Me too. And I might have to admit that I may have to buy a second pack of this paper. I love this paper too, Rose. It is so cute. So I fell in love with these little characters, and I've really been trying to think of ways to use them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to refold this, and it's going to resist. But just tell that paper who's boss. It's going to fold. And then I'm going to crease it again. We're going to crease it again. So if you wanted, and you knew that you wanted to do a full sheet, you could cut your sizes, adhere it, and then go in and score it all together and fold it. So there's our paper. Isn't that pretty? And it is a little thick. It's going to be thick if you add these layers. Just know that. Now we're going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to adhere it down, and it's going to go toward the bottom. So you could really, when you make this, you could make your fold up here. You could do whatever you want. That's the fun of it. Use the measurements and the idea that I'm teaching you and have some fun with it. You could even use this fun side. This pattern is really cute. This little, I don't even know what you call that. It's like, I wouldn't call it plaid. A check, maybe? Now let's see, make sure I adhere it the correct direction. So I'm just gonna get this on here. Again, I'm just trying to get it straight. Let's see, I got a little, feel sticky down here. I got a little too much glue. Is that what you call it? Vicky's helpful. She knows all the terms. Gingham, that's what it's called. Thank you, Vicky. I wasn't sure what to call it. So again, I'm going to fold this like we did before, and crease it, and fold this one back. And it may fold easier if you do it, put the papers on and then score it. So you can put this right at the bottom. You can have a little bit showing, or you can cover it up and make it flush, okay? Like this. Isn't that fun? A little sticky on that end. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it. So now we're going to adhere these two together, and then we're going to pick some characters to go on here. So if you wanted a character under this, think about that before you adhere it. So what do you think? Which characters should we cut out? And you don't have to do, if you want to just use scissors because you want this one and you don't want to disrupt and cut apart your whole sheet, just fussy cut. I promise it's not too bad. These characters aren't too bad to cut out. So we have, I'm not even sure what that is. Is that a dog with a little pink umbrella? We have this guy. We have this cute little pig, and you notice some of them are going different directions. So I love this. And then I love this little bunny rabbit. So we could cut this little bunny rabbit out from the corner and put him here on our flower strip. We could cut out the turtle. And don't be afraid to use these pieces as well that are on the edge. You could put them on the edge like this of your card. So don't be afraid to use every piece. Yes, Rose, I agree. I think this is a great, like, get better soon or feel better soon or even a thinking of you card. But I just think they're cute. I think even kids, like if you wanted to make a kid's card, they're not going to get it. I just love the characters. Yes, Jenny, it does have dies, but if you don't want to cut this to fit into your cut and emboss machine, you could just cut around it. So I could just rough cut this and then use the die on it. So with the umbrella, the fox or one of these. I just love that little bunny. So we have the smaller characters, and they could go on the background of your card. They can go, oops, whoops, I dropped my piece here. They can go back here. You can also adhere things on this side, and then they pop out as your, so it would look backwards here, but then it would pop out. So that's kind of part of the planning, is how you want it to look. Yes, the die cuts these. These do not have a die, but yes, the dies will cut this. So you can use that. If you don't have the die, you can just cut it. So right now we're just picking some characters. I'm going to cut this little one out because I think this one's cute. And these scissors are all gunked up, so this should be fun. And I'm actually going to cut the puddle out with it. And I believe there's a flower die. I don't know if it cuts that. I haven't looked at the dies. I threw them over on the other side. So I was just going to fussy cut today. I want to keep it simple. If you don't have a cut and emboss machine, it's okay. You can still do this. So I am going to cut this little character out. And you can leave as much white as you want. I just love this shiny UV looking texture that they've put on the paper. I think it's so fun. I love it when they're doing new things like that. It makes it interesting. So usually we have gold foil or something like that, or black foil, or silver. You know, it's a foiled look. And this is a new thing. It's called a UV coating. I'm not worried about if it's super perfect. If you are a perfectionist, then you probably fussy cut better than I do. And I'm not worried about his little ear there. Just gonna do this. You can leave a lot of white, or you can cut right up to the line. Whatever your preference is. So there's that character. Yes, it has, it's called a UV coating, so hopefully you guys can see it. It's really neat. It's kind of like if you clear embossed. So if you put Versamark on something and clear embossed and it has that shiny look, but it has, the lines have it. So it's some of the raindrops look like it. So it looks realistic. It's really neat. So one side has that different coatings, like where's that umbrella? So like on this paper, the umbrellas have it. Can you see it? And then this side doesn't. So one side has the coating, the treatment. Different things have it. It might be the raindrops. And I think, yeah, the rain, all the puddles and the raindrops on this paper. That's why I said if you want to cut this so that you're using it as a full sheet, you can just fussy cut out a few characters. You don't have to use right in the middle. Oh, yes, Vicki. I like to fussy cut things sometimes. I go through phases. So we got to think maybe this character's over here. Like this. And it's okay if it's covering up a flower. He's in a field of flowers. You can also cut that puddle off if you don't like it. Now we need some more characters. So when this folds, this is going to go like this. We could have a fox here with the umbrella. Or we could have our little turtle with the flower. We could have one of these smaller guys back here. So you can, all right. Jenny's votes to cut off the puddle. What do you guys think? Cut the puddle off? So he's just dancing, or she is just dancing in the flowers. Because, you know, we're coming into spring here in a few weeks. So, you know, they say April showers bring May flowers. But, you know, I don't know about you, but my flowers are already going nuts. Well, the greeting can go anywhere. And that's part of the planning. You can stamp something up here in the sky. You can create a little white piece here. You can create a little piece that hangs off here so that when it opens, the greeting stays over here. There's lots and lots of ways you can do it. You can stamp it right here or right here. Sometimes I do a strip. And I didn't really say, I don't know what greeting we're going to use. We can use, I'm going to cut this puddle off real quick. We can use a thinking of you. I do have a Beauty of Friendship out because I liked the thinking of you. So there, I cut my puddle off. So this little character's just dancing in the flowers. So what do you think? Do you want a thinking of you? That's kind of what I was thinking. Now, and I like this thinking of you. It's a nice small size, but it's it works. And the sayings with the playing in the rain are rainy days are better with you, or oh happy day. So ooh, yes, the greeting can be a surprise, like Jenny said. So it can be right here. So when you open this, there's your greeting. And remember, if you have a message to write, you can always use the back of your card when you do cards like this. And I often do. So I do love this thinking of you. It just seems like it's the perfect size. I use this stamp set a ton. Can you tell? One of my favorites. You could even make this a birthday card. I know that seems silly, but if you're making kids cards, or I don't know, it might even be able to be an Easter card. But if you're making kids cards, they're not going to overanalyze, oh, it's raining, or that means they're sad. This character is dancing in the rain. So you can make it whatever you want. Don't get stuck in your head just because it has raindrops. Some people like the rain, right? Not everybody associates that with sadness. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could stamp that as well. Friendships refresh the soul. So you could have, like on my, where's my little card here? So see, remember my little barnyard card? I said hello there. And then when I popped it open, I said, life is better with you. So you can stamp a little something and then stamp it something on this hidden part that pops up when you open the card. So you can say, thinking of you, and you can stamp right onto your designer series paper. You can use basic gray, you could use night of navy, you could use a blue. I am going to use my Stamparatus because stamping on these layers will might be a little difficult. So I am going to use my Stamparatus when I do that. So here's this. And I haven't adhered this yet only because I don't know where I want all my characters. Ooh. Now, if this feels a little heavy, you could trim this a little bit. Okay, so if it feels like it's getting a little thick, you can also make it just a tad shorter so that it's it has a little more wiggle room when you fold it. So we got this one dancing over here. So you could say thinking of you. Yes, the umbrellas, you could do get well. I love all the little umbrellas, but I think you could have one of these characters holding an umbrella back there, or this cute little dog. His umbrella's not open yet. So you could have that back here, or even on this section to pop up. It can go behind or with. We could put, let's grab out that greeting that Jenny said. Let's see if it fits. I feel like I have lots of friends that could use this card right now. And just a hello, I'm thinking of you. You're on my mind. I feel like since I started working, I haven't seen my friends, and I am thinking of them, even though I feel like I don't get to talk to them as much. So you could stamp this, friendships refresh the soul, and see it fits perfect. And then you could have your little friends on there. That was kind of my thinking with the farm animals. So what do you think? It's still a really simple card. Thank you for the love. And we just need to pick a couple more critters. We could pick the turtle with the flower and put him on the front. And then we could pick, if we want to use one of these, or we could even do another little rabbit in here. What do you think? Tell me your thoughts. So I'm going to cut them out. And I just want to make sure I can fit them where I want them to go before I adhere this. You can do it flush with the bottom, like I said, or you can pull it up a little bit and do it off the bottom a little bit. You just want to make sure your ends meet up. So Jenny votes the turtle and the white bunny. So we have this one over here that has a green shirt, and then we have this one that's, I'm not sure what color you would color that. I think they watercolored it with like a mango melody. But we also have this little bunny. So which one do you think? I've got my scissors ready to go. I'm getting my turtle. I'm going to do this little turtle right here. Again, if you have the dies, you could rough cut around this and use the die. I'm just using my scissors. Oh, sorry, Rose. So I have this little white rabbit. And if you want to go in a line because you want to save this for something else, there's one down here. Or we have this one, excuse me, that has a little blue jacket. So I'm going to cut my turtle out here to go on the front. Again, you can leave a lot of white. You can do a little. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. If you like it perfect, take your time and cut around all the bits. I might go back and cut around him a little bit more where the flower is. But if you were using your die, it's going to leave white in there as well. It's going to have a little bit of a white edge. You could cut it right to the stamped line. Completely up to you. Cut down in here a little bit. And the only reason why I'm really kind of being fussy about that is because I have a pattern behind him, and I want to make sure that pattern shows through. So there's. Oh, okay, Rose, I'm sorry. Yes, I like to do it a little bit from the bottom as well. I just feel like it folds better, but you don't have to. Okay, so somebody was saying do the fox and cut the umbrella off. What do you think? So I have these two that are full. So what do you guys think? So let's vote. Bunny or another bunny or the fox? And we can cut the pink umbrella off. You don't have to have the umbrella on it. Yes, true. The fox is facing a different way. And that's something to think about. So if you were using these guys, they have, there's a little more characters because they're smaller and they are facing both directions. So you can use either sheet. So let's grab this. I'm going to grab this fox right here. And you notice I'm just rough cutting, and then I'm going to go back and trim it up, okay? So let's cut this little fox. Now this one might have been easier with the die, but again, I don't want you to feel like you have to always have all the dies. These characters can be cut without that. And move his tail so I can see where I'm cutting. Oops. Now, you notice I'm going to cut that umbrella off, so I'm just going to keep cutting along this way. And to get that out of there, I'm just going to cut like that. It almost looks like, I have an idea, I'm going to show you. It almost looks like this little fox, whether it's a boy or a girl, I don't know, is accepting the flower from our little turtle. Okay. So Oh, so this little character is looking the wrong way. I think they're just running. So I was thinking turtle, right, with our flower. Then you open it, and here's our little fox. He's accepting the flower, and then this one's playing in the flowers. What do you think? I know, as Rose said, it's kind of facing off the page, but I'm just looking at it as dancing. This one's off on their own. And this one kind of looks like he's handing the flower to the fox. And you could put more characters. You could put, characters in the background. You can do as many as you want. Just remember, it's going to make your card thicker. So if you're mailing it, it may cost you a little bit more. So we can stamp thinking of you. We can do it right onto the Design Your Series paper. If you don't want to add more paper, stamp right on it. So let's adhere everything, and then we're going to line the stamps up with our Stamparatus and stamp. So the only thing we have to decide once I'm done adhering all of these cute little characters is what color do we want to stamp in? Do you want to do like something bold, like Night of Navy? Or do you want to keep it basic with basic gray? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this piece down, and I'm going to move it up from the bottom just a little bit. And I'm only going to glue on these ends. So this end is going to get glue, and this end. So here's a little trick. Here's the trick. Only this piece needs glue. So if you fold this and you only put glue on this part and this part, you will easily get only the pieces that need your adhesive. If you try gluing them separate, then you run the chance of accidentally putting glue in here where you want it to be moving. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put a little adhesive on this end and a little adhesive on this end. Okay. Then when we stick it down, I'm going to leave it folded just like this. And you can use the help of a block if you need to. I'm going to move it up from the bottom just a tad. And I'm going to do this. So this is where, see how this is kind of thick because we've put lots of paper on there. You could make this just a tad smaller, like 1/8 of an inch. And then when you adhere it, it won't hang over like that. It's okay if it does. It's still going to fit in your envelope. Linda asks, can I make my second Z-fold out of the basic white? So this is just basic white, but because we added that Designer Series paper, it's adding to the thickness. So I can show you one of these, and we can do it a little simpler without paper if you would like. I'm not sure what we're stamping on it, but I can do that. Or I can just show you the mechanics of it, and then you can get creative later or however you want to. So there's our card. Now we just have to put our little animals on. I'm going to do this side first. Now remember, if they're sticking up, only put adhesive on the part that's going to be down here. So if he can go up here, you can adjust it. If you have a big greeting, you may want to adjust how tall he is. So I'm just going to put adhesive, and you can use glue dots and tuck them in. If you glue it and there's not maybe you didn't get enough or get it up high enough, you can always grab some glue dots. So I'm going to put him, oops, straight. And it's, remember, this is designer series paper. So you don't need a ton of glue. You don't, you can adhere the top if you want. I forgot, he's not hanging up. This guy is going to be, so if you want him down, that's okay. I forgot he's on the full panel. This one, however, is going to be on this panel that pops up. So you want to make sure you don't have any glue on the top. So I just put a little bit on there on his bottom. Trying to get in between some flowers here. I moved him over so I have a little bit of adhesive there. I don't want it to stick. I do not want these pieces to stick together. So I'm just rubbing that off. So you will see the back of him, and that's something to think about if you don't like that. So that's part of the planning. I guess I should have said that before I adhered him down. So you could put like another one here to try to cover that up. It's up to you. I've seen people die cut things. So like this fox has a die cut. They might put two, or I can put him over here. Let me see if I can get him up without ruining it. Well, we'll just leave him. He's stuck. But I could put, I could have put him over here, and that's probably what I should have done. Because I want this little guy to show. Let me see if I can get him off. Let me see if I can peel him off without ruining him. Might have to do some card surgery here. Planning, oops. Oops, oops, oops. It's going to be okay. I'm going to show you how I get that off. So I'm going to actually put him right here. Redo, back up. Don't do what I did. I'm going to just put some more glue on him there. And I'm actually going to put him over here. Like this. Now, I'm just going to pull this adhesive off. I'm just kind of scratching that paper off. There. Oh, I guess it did rip, didn't it? No, we're just going to leave it. It'll be okay. Maybe I can put a flower there. So this little guy's getting this, and then he's over here dancing. So they're still going to cover each other a little bit. Maybe I should put him there. Should I do that? What do you think? It'll still show the pink paper. And you could die cut a white piece and put back there, or even, you know, this piece you have here, you could die cut something that looks like your background and adhere it to the back of that. Leave them at the end. Okay. So that's one design thing I forgot to point out, was when you have a pattern on the back. So if I had done these characters and colored them myself, it would have been white on the back. So I'm going to put him like this, dancing in the flowers. And we're not going to worry about that piece. Honestly, if somebody's looking for it, they may see that, but we're not going to worry about it because the card stands like this, so it's kind of facing away from your view anyway. So there's our characters. He kind of looks like he has ears, huh? So now we're going to stamp the words. And after this dries a little bit, I'm just going to come back in and make sure. And it'll be okay. Oh, well, that might not. Maybe I'll color it with some green. You could put something in there. Grab that little frog if you got the paper pumpkin and glue him on there too. So now, like I said, it's off to the side, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to grab my Stamparatus. And I probably need both magnets. I'm going to put it down here at the bottom because I want to be able to hold this really well. Grab my other magnets. So I'm going to put this like this. Can you guys see what I'm doing? And I'm going to stamp Thinking of You right here. And then I'll open it when I stamp the other piece. Yes, I could use colored pencil to fill it in. Just, yeah, we get boo-boos. It's okay. It's okay to have a boo-boo when you make a card. It's not the end of the world. I promise. But when you're doing characters or things that pop up, you could also put a bush in there on that side. If you, like even this, you could stamp something like this and make it look like there's a tree behind him or whatever. So if you're planning and you have a boo-boo or something, there's tons of ways you can fix it. Don't give up. Just keep on going. And I promise there's a solution most times. So did we say any colors? Basic gray or Night of Navy? Oh, that's Smoky Slate. We don't want that one. That one's too light. And I'm just saying Night of Navy because this has Balmy Blue in it. So Night of Navy would be a darker blue and show up really well on this. Yes, Jenny. It's a handmade card. Don't beat yourself up. You could even put an embellishment on there, I'm sure. Or, like I said, there's some flowers in this stamp set. There's these little flowers. You could maybe do a little flower, die cut it, and pop it on top of there. Not a big deal. Don't overthink it. Okay, Night of Navy. So let's finish this up. It's taken a little bit longer than I anticipated. So I'm going to grab this. Now remember, this is going to be really thick. That's why I'm using the Stamparatus. So we're doing Thinking of You. And I'm just going to hold that there for a second. Just holding it there. I want the ink to soak in, but I don't want to press too hard because photopolymer stamps can spread when you press on them. So I don't want to squish my letters. Perfect. I think this color looks perfect. Now, to stamp the other part, I'm going to unfold it. Put my magnets back. And we can do Friendships Refresh the Soul. Now, I'm just eyeballing this. I'm not looking to see if I got it perfectly straight. Again, if that's something that bothers you, you can take the card off and test it on your grid paper. There are grid lines on this. I don't see them well unless I have my spotlight on. My eyes just are not that great. I've got glue and everything else all over this thing. It's okay. So we can pick this up. And I still have my foam mat in here. Even though this card's really, really thick, I still have my foam mat in there. So we can put, I don't know if I put it over far enough. me do that again. So I'm going to put this over here because when this folds, I want it to be my hidden message. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up with Night of Navy. I'm going to pull that up a little bit. And again, I'm going to just hold it there for a second. Let that ink soak in. You want it to transfer to your paper. Sometimes darker inks take a little bit if you want them to be really dark. If you want it to be just really quick, it might not be dark. If you do it quick and pull it up, it's going to be a little bit lighter. There we go. Now, if it's not dark enough, I think my word soul looks a little faint. I'm going to ink it again and do it again. And again, I'm not squishing it. I'm just holding it there and putting enough pressure that the stamp has good contact with my paper. I don't want to squish it, especially these fonts that look like handwriting or cursive or like a script, because they will squish and it will make your letters thicker. So if you want that, then press harder. So here's our card. Let this dry for a second. I'm going to move this out of the way. Now, Linda, I know I've been making 2 cards. I don't know that I have time today because it's already almost 10:30. So how about we meet up and do a portrait Z-fold? And I can do it a little simpler without the paper. So you guys, anybody that's on or anybody that rewatches this, if you rewatch, please let us know you watched the replay, or if you watch later. Let me know what kind of portrait card you would like to see on the Z-fold. Would you like to see the layers? Would you like to see it really simple with no paper on it? And let's meet up this week, maybe Monday or Tuesday night, and do another little Facebook Live with a portrait Z-fold, because this took me a little bit longer than I anticipated. No worries, Linda. I am good. I promise I'm better. The cough, it apparently just takes a little bit longer to go away, but I am absolutely fine and recovered. So no worries on that. But I do want to give you more ideas, and I do plan on playing with this a little bit more. So let that dry for a few seconds before you do this, or you might have a little mirror image over here. So here's our little friends. Thinking of you, friendships refresh the soul. And we need our friends to get by, don't we? I miss my friends. Since I've started working, I haven't seen them as much. Tomorrow, though, we are doing a card club at my church to do our Easter cards for our friends that can't make it to church. Maybe they're homebound or they're in the nursing home and they're not making it. We like to send them cards. So here's our friends. And you could think about this placement and make it a little more strategic and move him over closer. Plan it out better. You see my mistakes, so you know what not to do. I still think it's a cute card. To help this stay folded a little bit, I like to put a block on there, and I'm going to show you putting it in the envelope because it does fit. Might be a little tighter squeeze because we made it thick, but that's okay. So again, I would love to meet up this week. Let's shoot for maybe Monday night or Tuesday night. I think probably Tuesday. Tuesday works best for me. So maybe Tuesday evening, like 7-ish, maybe 7:30. Let me know your thoughts. I want to craft with you. And we'll do a portrait Z-fold and shoot me some ideas that you'd like to see. I'll try it out. I'll let you know how it works. I love it. Thank you for the love. So if you have some crafty friends that would like to know about this, make sure you share my video with them or invite them to come over and join us. So as you can see, it fits right into our medium envelope. The only thing you want to be careful of is how thick you get it. So if you use dimensionals, and you certainly can, if you use dimensionals on these to pop up your characters, it will add a little postage. Sometimes I fill this all up and it's just bursting with paper and all kinds of things. And I tend to have to pay extra, but that's okay. My friends are worth it. Thank you for joining me today. Yes, Vicki, I will definitely post the measurements. I'm going to take a picture of our card. I will post the measurements, and you're welcome to share when I post that thread here. And just, I'm going to try to do it in a few minutes if I can. Feel free to share your designs. Oh, Linda, this is a cute set. And like I said, it really grew on me. You know, that happens to me sometimes. It's not on my list. I also have the motorcycle set, and I think this would be great for a motorcycle card. So maybe we'll do that in the portrait. I don't know. Oh, thanks, Rose. Tell Johnny I said thank you. I appreciate that. So this is so cute. So cute. But thank you for joining me today. I know it was a little bit longer live, but sometimes that creative process, that's what happens, right? And I want you to see all of it, even my boo-boos, because we all have those. And unless somebody lays the card out, I'm not even sure you would notice, because they're going to set their card up like this and put it on display, right? We display our cards, and they're just going to see these cute little creatures. So this is how it stands up. So if you have any questions, you know you can message me or post on here. I'm happy to help you. If you need help working out measurements or ideas on what to use or whatever, that's what I'm here for. That's why we're a crafty tribe. We want to help each other and give each other ideas. Thank you, Linda. Everyone have a wonderful day. Enjoy your day. I hope those of you that don't have electric yet get back to normal soon. And I'll see you guys Tuesday. Let's meet up Tuesday. And on the thread that I do this on, or how about I'll make a new thread? I'll make a thread on ideas for the portrait Z-fold, and you guys can pop in. Maybe you'd like to see a certain stamp set. Maybe you'd like certain colors. Maybe you want to see how layers work. Let me know what you want to see so I can prepare and have some samples for you. So thank you all. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Take care.